Carla, the crazy cross-stitch lady. Welcome to my craft room. It has been a while since we have visited together, and for that I need to apologize. I've had a lot going on, so I'll give you a little bit of an update, life update, because it has been crazy around here. Nobody's fault really, it just happened. So first thing is, before I start in on all of that, I want to thank you to all of my current subscribers who keep coming back to visit with me in the craft room and supporting me in this endeavor of making a FlossTube channel, because I've noticed that some of the new ones who come on talk about how much work it is to make a FlossTube video. It does take some preparation. Of course, we're not professionals by any stretch of the imagination, although some have found some editing programs where they can get really fancy with stuff, which is cool. I do light editing, so I do that. But it does take some work, and you have to have some willingness to put yourself out there in front of the camera. So I just want to thank you for supporting me in this. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I hope that this brings you joy and that you can just sit back and relax and do your stitching while you listen to me. And hopefully I am a positive enabler and give you some ideas for some of your own projects and some craft work that you would like to do. I would also like to thank the new subscribers who have joined since last time. I really appreciate that, and I hope that you get out of this as much as I enjoy putting into it. Okay, so life update. Well, first of all, I was going to record another one of these a few weeks ago, and then I got strep throat. And it was pretty bad. The last time I had strep throat was when the first year of teaching, and the first year that you teach, you almost get everything because you're not used to being around all kinds of germy little kids. As much as I love my kids, when you teach, it's like being a petri dish. So I got strep, and normally kids get strep. You don't see a lot of adults who get strep. But some of the doctors I was talking to were talking about how they have seen more adults getting strep this time. Everybody's been getting sick. So if you're one of those who has gotten sick, or you're getting over being sick, I empathize, and I hope that you are feeling better now, or that you are feeling better soon, because it is miserable. So I took off a couple of days of work for that, went to the doctor, got some medicine. Plus I was very congested on top of that, which didn't help. So I was given medication for some congestion as well. And of course, I didn't feel like doing much of anything. That Sunday, I was just sitting on the sofa, just kind of staring at the TV, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to move. I had to force myself to drink water to try to stay hydrated because it hurt so much to swallow, and didn't do a very good job of it because I was dehydrated for several days. My mouth just was like that. So got past that, and things were just getting busy with Thanksgiving, and I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We had a good Thanksgiving, and it was just a little busy. And then after that, I was going to record my FlossTube. I had a 2-week break coming up for Christmas, and then my dad got sick last week. He was admitted to the hospital on Tuesday, and I won't go into a lot of detail because I feel like this is his story to tell, and I don't feel like I can give a lot of detail about that. Not that I want to keep it from you or anything, but just suffice it to say, he had several issues. He was short of breath. He had other issues that came up that we were not even aware of. And so he is still in the hospital now. So I've been spending most of my break taking my mother back and forth to the hospital. My brother's gone to visit. Christmas Day, we had our meal here like we normally do. And then my brother and my niece, hubby, my mom and me all piled into my vehicle, and we went to go see Dad in the hospital. And I think that cheered him up. He was looking better and feeling better. But he's not out of the woods yet. We still have some things that we need to check on. I still am not sure when he's going to be discharged from the hospital. We're on day 9 right now, and I'm recording this on Wednesday. And so this is day 9. And I feel sorry for him because he's been through quite a bit in the last week or so. So if you're the praying type, if you can just keep him in your prayers, or if, send good positive thoughts his way, I would greatly appreciate that. So again, I didn't really feel like doing a floss tube, but we're going to talk about the cross stitching along with this, this kind of thing towards the end when I give my crazy craft tip. Because I think this is a very important issue to address. So we'll come back to that, but let's get to some more positive stuff, some fun stuff. I have some finishes that I want to show you, and I've got some things I've been working on, and I also got my December Stitch Quarterly from Fat Quarter Shop, and I have not had a chance to really look through it. I looked through a little bit, but I thought I would show that to you in case you wanted to see it. Okay, so let's start out with the shout out. My shout out this time is to Goose. So I found Goose on Etsy. This was a while back, and I ordered some of her project bags. And in fact, like one of her, let's see, I know that I have, this is one of hers, I believe. So I ordered this one. Here's like the back of it, quilted. And then there's the front, and you can see the inside of it. And it's really sturdy zipper here. And you can also get, I don't always get these, but this is a little matching thing where you can put your needles, and then your floss will just stick to this if you just want to put your orts there. Like I said, I usually don't order these with it, but I did with this particular bag when I was starting out. And they're very, very well made. And so I've ordered some bags, different bags from her. And then not long ago, I was listening to the 502 Stitcher, and she was basically giving Goose a shout out and talking about her floss tube. And I didn't realize that Goose had a floss tube on top of her Etsy shop. So I went to check that out. And it was really fun to listen to her. She speaks very quickly. She's very animated, very excited, and she jumps from one thing to the next quite a bit. But she laughs, and she just has you can tell she has a lot of fun with her floss tubes. So if you have not checked out Goose, please do that. I will put a link to her floss tube below. I will also put a link to her Etsy shop. It's Goose Design. If you want a project bag, they're not the most expensive bags I've seen. They're not super cheap. They're kind of in the middle of the road, but they are very, excuse me, congestion. They are very well made, and she does have family members and maybe friends who help her to get some of her materials together, but she does all the sewing. And she has made sure to say that more than once, that she does all the sewing on her bags personally. So every single bag she sews herself. So I know with this bag, she's had her hands on it herself, and she does the work. And so I really appreciate that. And if you want something like custom done, like you want a different colored zipper or something like that, then she will be happy to do that for you if she has that in her stock or if she can get it. So very sweet lady, fun to watch. So go check her out. So you can just click on that link below and you can go check her out. Okay, so for my stash item, I pulled out, and I don't have too many stash items anymore that you haven't seen because I have cleared out a lot of my stash. I have given a lot of it to my stitchy friends and some of our stitch groups because I hope I don't start coughing a lot. Because I wanted to just basically weed everything out and come up with some, new items. Come on in. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I'm back again. Hubby had to come in and tell me something because it involves our dinner plans. So anyway, that's why we were interrupted. So sorry about that. So anyway, as I was saying, I do have a little bit of stash that you haven't seen, which actually is a good thing because now I actually have projects in my stash and all the projects that I actually feel like I want to stitch and I'm going to stitch. So we'll see if that changes a couple of years from now. So we'll see. Who knows? But that's the fun of it, you know. So I ordered a few different magazines from Stoney Creek Cross Stitch. Now, I looked to see if I could actually get an ongoing subscription to Stoney Creek because I love their patterns. They're beautiful. I could not find where to actually order a subscription. I did find a site where you can order back issues, which is what I did with this one, which might actually be better because I can see the cover. Now, you can't see the inside of it, but you can see the cover. And if that piques your interest, probably the things inside are going to be good. If you like Stoney Creek, you're going to like most of their stuff. That's, at least I found that to be the case with me. With Stoney Creek, their stuff is just good quality stuff, good quality patterns. Yeah, I'll think of it in a minute. So this one is from winter 2021. And so I will show you the cover. So that's Stoney Creek, and it's got a horse and kitty, and I love that. So let me show you some things that are in here. And I'm trying not to show patterns here. So they have some little like a countdown to Christmas little ornaments where you can make some little gingerbread ornaments. I just think those are adorable. Most of these are, it looks like they are full cross stitches. The only specialty stitch I see in here is back stitch, which I plan on doing actually some more tutorials on. I want to focus on some very basic specialty stitches other than ones I've already done, because I know some people want to try specialty stitches, but they're a little intimidated by that. So I want to focus on some simple specialty stitches that people can learn pretty quickly, and those stitches can really jazz up your pieces. Let's see, this one I thought was really pretty. I'll show you a couple more and then that'll be it. It's called Winter Stag. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? Honestly, I need to stitch this because we have a lot of deer and we have a lot of woods, and I think this would go well in our guest bedroom downstairs. That one looks like they're all full crosses. So if you're new to cross stitch or you're coming back to cross stitch, some of these patterns would be really good. There are some back stitches, but you know, back stitching gets a bad rap. And honestly, it's not hard. I think some people find it tedious, but it's not difficult. And then, let's see, let me show you one more. Let's see if I can find one more. Oh, this one's cute. It's got a sloth on it. It says, slow down, take a deep breath, and relax. Whew, I think I need to stitch this one for sure. Isn't that cute? Okay, so if you like those patterns, you're probably going to really like this issue. This is, again, the Winter 2021 issue of Stoney Creek Cross Stitch. I'm going to see if I can find the link to the site to order the back issues and get that put down in the description box as well. Okay? All right, let me put that to the side. Okay, now I have... let's see, let me get my stuff together here. Okay, now let me do finishes first. And these I need to focus on maybe in the next couple of days trying to fully finish. And so that means I need to clear my table off. I've got to get some decluttering done in here. I have to. You can see there's stuff piled in the back. I'm still in the process of decluttering. So let's roll with this. So this is my month-to-month October by Stitching with the Housewives. And so I did the bottom one. And what I did was, instead of this bird here, I put the number 6 And in the barn itself, I put the year 1973. This was my birthday stitch, and it was to help celebrate year number 50. I am 50 years old. Half a century. Fabulous 50. How's that? Fabulous 50. I stitched this on a 28 count mixed berry Jobelin, and it was stitched with Classic Colorworks floss, and I thought it turned out pretty darn good. So let me, what do you think? So there's my 6, and then there's my 1973 that I had to stitch over a couple of times so it would show up. But there it is. So I was very pleased with that. So I don't think I'm going to put this in a frame. I think I'm going to finish it like Priscilla and Chelsea of Stitching with Housewives do, or at least close to it. And then I will hang it up here in my craft room. So there's that one. Make sure I don't lose these. All right, my next one, and I think I showed this one last time. This is Tea Time by It's So Emma. It is one of the Stitch Quarterlies. And so this is what it looks like. Okay. And here is my finish. I finally finished it. Finally finished it. Okay. And there it is. I am so happy with this. This is stitched with DMC floss called for, and this is a 28 count mushroom Lugana. Yeah, 28 count mushroom Lugana. I'm so happy with how that turned out. I haven't ironed these yet, but this one I am going to probably put it in a frame, but not, I'm not going to put glass in it. I'm going to do a little fancy finish with it. And that's going to go to a friend. So I'm not keeping that one. It's going to a friend. And I can always stitch it again. If I really want it, I can stitch it again, of course. I'm so sorry. So very sorry. Okay, this is the 2023 Barn Sweet Barn Sal, where they changed the particular star pattern they were doing. I like this one a lot better. And so this is what the pattern looks like. Each month has a different color scheme. There are usually 3 colors involved. It's a white and then a darker hue and a lighter hue of the same color. So that's January that they're showing you. And I finished January, and yes, I realize it's December. We're almost at the end of the year. Can you believe that? But I'm just going to slowly make my way through each month. And what I did, because the star can be turned any way, and I wanted to make sure as I was in the middle of stitching it, make sure I wanted to know where the top was. And so all I did, this is a little trick if you don't know this trick, I just took my floss and just stitched just a little tiny, you know, like 2 or 3 stitches, and I'll either take it out or it won't matter because I'm finishing it and I'm going to cut off some of this fabric. But there it is. This is on a 25 count white Lugana. And what I'm going to do is put a solid colored fabric behind it. And then I'm going to put a washer on there. I'm putting a magnet on the barn, the wooden barn that I painted, and I'm going to make it interchangeable where I can switch these out. And I'm just going to put the name of the month on the back of each star so I can keep track of it. And I will store them and just rotate them like that. So that is January. I was really happy with how it turned out. It almost looks darker. I guess it's the lighting. That's right there. That is a truer color right there. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So those are my finishes. And, you know, when you're stressed out and you start stitching, you might have a few finishes. But I felt like I have a full coverage piece that I've started working on. I just did not have the mental bandwidth to work on that. So we'll talk about that too. All right, now these are the ones that I am currently working on. So I'll show you the progress here. This first one is called Blue Rhapsody, and it is by Rosewood Manor, designed by Karen Kluba. And there's the pattern. Okay, so I know it's called Blue Rhapsody, but I changed it to 2 tones of purple. I am using the colors, they're DMC 209 and 3837. I am stitching this on it's a 14 count opalescent. The color is called Everything Else because it's kind of a modeled, I'll just show you the modeling on here first. Let's see. Okay, and so this is the modeling that you see throughout. And then this is how far I have gotten. I don't know if you can, there's more of the truer color of it. It's really hard to see the opalescent, I think, but there's where I am. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I decided to start a purple sampler wall. And so this is the first purple sampler that I am doing. And so my purple samplers, of course, will be all shades of purple. And I'm so excited. And so that's where I've gotten. Now, the fabric is from Mystic Fabrics. And it's really nice. It's so soft. It's probably the softest Aida I've ever used. The problem is that the threads, as they're crisscrossing, some of them, there are just like little gaps. I'm sure you've seen them before. And so sometimes it's hard. My needle wants to go into like the little bitty gaps instead of the actual hole. And so that's been a little bit of an issue, not too horrible, just enough to irritate a little bit, but the fabric's beautiful. I love the fabric, so I'm just gonna hang on to that. Okay, now this one is, it's called Paw Love. This is by Dyed to Perfection, which is a local company that is run by one of our local stitchers and her husband. They do have a website called dyedtoperfection.com, and I am doing a pattern called Paw Love. Okay, and this is what's on the front. So maybe when more pieces maybe get stitched, they can put pictures of that on the front. But I am working with, they do patterns. They also have floss, and they dye fabric as well. So they do it all. So the floss I'm using is they call it Mediterranean Seas. It's just beautiful. I love it. So what they do is they take DMC 3865, which is the really pretty white base. That's what they use as their base, and then they dye it. And so what I've decided to do, I'm stitching this on, this is a 28 count Parisian stripe. I'm not sure what company it is. I think I got this out of a kit, so I don't even know what company made this fabric. But there's what I've got so far with the heart. When I finish the heart and then the paw, what I'm going to do is find one of my really small alphabets, and I'm going to put the names of all the dogs we had when I was growing up, and I'm going to stitch them. I may try to stitch them inside the heart if I have room, and maybe some on the outside, but I may try to stitch their names on the inside. Just depends on how much room I've got there. But I just thought that the pink stripes would be cute for this little pattern. And then those greens and blues just really look pretty on that pink. So that is what another project I'm currently working on. And since I finished some, I'm going to have some in my, got some floss trying to escape from me. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's trying to leave. I'm going to replace some of these in my rotation, like I said I would, with some other some of my other whips that are still sitting there, just waiting for mommy to work on them. Okay, so this is the full coverage piece that I'm working on. I did a picture collage of Lincoln and his family, his wife, one of his kids, the log cabins. I am from the land of Lincoln, and no, that's not Illinois, even though they like to call themselves the land of Lincoln, and they have it on their license plate. He was born here in Kentucky, and I share the same hometown as Lincoln, which is Hodgenville. So I wanted to do a full coverage of him, and so I ran it through this program called Threadbare, and I will put a link to Threadbare below. I have not stitched a complete pattern with Threadbare before, so we'll see how it goes. But anytime that you run photos through a photo conversion program, you get to name the piece, because you know there is no name for the piece, so you get to name it, which is really cool. So I decided to title this Log Cabin Legacy, and so this is what I hope the finished product will look like. So you see younger version of Lincoln with his son, and this is the statue that's on the square in Hodgenville. There's Mary, and this is the at Lincoln's birthplace. That's the memorial, and this is the cabin that is out at Knob Creek, which is a few miles outside of Hodgenville, and then one of his iconic photos below. And they, in the program, they actually had that frame there where you could put it. I thought, oh, that's perfect. Okay, so there it is. It involves 300 colors. So check this out. All right, let me lift it up here. If it'll let go. Check it out. Now, yes, I'm crazy. I am definitely crazy. I have about, let's see, I've got 6 rings on here. So I've got about, I don't know, how many did I put on each ring? Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I put that would be 50 colors on each ring. I can do math. Seriously, I can do math. And it took me a long time to make sure all these were on floss drops, but this is going to take, it's going to take me a while just to be able to sort through and find each color before I even stitch anything. So that's going to be part of the challenge. But I'm stitching this on a 16 count Aida instead of an 18. We'll see how that goes. This is what I have. There she is in all her glory. That's it. That would be the top corner right here. This is what I've got, okay? I have not felt like working on this. So I said, you know what? Let's work on all the smaller ones first, and we'll work on this one later, because I just did not have the mental bandwidth to do that. So yeah, anyway. All right, so now the last thing before my tip, I got my December Stitch Quarterly, and they always package a Fat Quarter Shop. Just does such a great job. They do a, they're a little more expensive, like with their patterns and things like that. They're more expensive than like if you go to 1-2-3 Stitch. So honestly, I go to 1-2-3 Stitch first. Sometimes Fat Quarter Shop will be a little bit cheaper. Not always, but sometimes they are. So it's always worth doing comparison shopping, especially with patterns, especially. But they provide wonderful customer service. They package their items very well. And I've been pleased with their service so far. And I've been pleased with my Stitch Quarterlies. So like I said, if I ever get tired of getting the Stitch Quarterlies, or they're piling up on me and it's just too much, I'll stop the club. You can cancel at any time, which is the great thing. So this is the December Stitch Quarterly. So here's the bag. Let me turn it around. Let's do this. Let's do this. So here is the bag. It's a very cute bag. You can stitch on these. These blocks are pretty big, but you can actually, they make patterns that you can actually stitch on here. But with these kinds of pictures, I don't want to stitch on them, but they do make bags that are vinyl bags like this that are more just like solid colored or gingham. And then you can stitch words and things like that on there. So this is the bag. It is a vinyl bag. Okay, so the pattern is called Festive Blizzard. And one of the things you get is you get this, which when you open it, shows you everything that you're going to get in here. Okay, so first of all, here is the pattern. It's very cute. It's got a little snow fox, and it's got a polar bear and a penguin on there with the trees. And so here is the pattern. And it's so cute. And these kinds of finishes that you see here, when we're talking about Priscilla and Chelsea finishes, that's what people are talking about, because they came up with a more creative ways to finish cross stitch than what you had before, which either you finished it in a hoop or you finished it in a frame, pretty much, or you stitched a towel. Okay, so the fabric is the minty green 14 count opalescent Aida, or as you're supposed to pronounce it, Aida, which I don't. A lot of us don't. This is by Zweigart. So here is the color. I don't know if you can, I think usually when I play back the video, you can see the opalescent part a little bit better. It sparkles. Okay, so there's the fabric. And the floss, it's mainly DMC this time. So here are the colors, and it also includes a size 26 John James needle. So here is the DMC, pretty Christmassy colors. And then you also, with this one, we're getting Classic Color Works Caribbean Waters. Let me get my board. Okay, so Caribbean Waters, isn't that pretty? Pretty color. And also Tropical Paradise. That one's really pretty. Okay, so those are the colors. And these two, they came inside with the DMC, but I wanted to take them out so you can see them a little bit better. And you get the little needle minder. Oh, he's so cute. This is the Snowy Penguin needle minder. Isn't he cute? And these needle minders are strong. I mean, these are excellent needle minders. So now 1-2-3 Stitch does have good needle minders. And honestly, if you buy, when I first saw, like, they have these little, it looks like a little button needle minder. It's small. And I thought, I don't know, but I bought them. Those things are good. So if you want cheaper needle minders that still have some cuteness to them, 1-2-3 Stitch is your friend. They have some other ones, but I'm telling you what, I mean, and you pay for these needle minders. This one, the retail value is $10.48. So not cheap, but boy, are they sturdy. They are strong. So if you want to invest in some needle minders occasionally, yeah, Fat Quarter Shop's got you. Now this is, they call it the Compu Stitch. Okay, so let me show you what this is first. Okay, now let's see, I might have to take it out here. Okay. It's got a little star at the top, a little star, okay? All right, now, especially if you haven't been stitching long, I'm like, what in the heck is that? Okay, so what you do is when you are stitching, and I mean, you're wanting to use like every last little bit of floss that you have, and you get to the end and you can just barely get that last stitch in, and you've got like this much floss left, and you're like, I need to run this through the back of the rest of my stitches so it will hold. Well, what you do if you're in that situation is you take that little thing down at the bottom, and what you do is you run this, first you run this through some of your stitches, and then you take that tiny little bit of floss that you have and you're going to put it in, there's like, they've got a little tiny loop here. You put it in that loop, and once it's secured, very slowly and carefully, you pull this back through the stitches, and it will pull that little tiny piece of floss back through under your stitches, because you know your needle is not going to be able to do that, but this little thing will. So it's really cool that they gave me this. Now, Jean Ferris showed a trick where you can use another piece of floss to do the same thing. And let's see, how much is this? This one is, it's $5.48. So, you know, I mean, if you really want, if this is going to be easier, you can buy something like this. So, I may have to try that out. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm going to see if I can slide it back through my card first. At least slide it in there so it stays put. And so that's my stitch quarterly for December. And so I'll get another one in March. And they do it every 3 months because it's quarterly. With taxes and shipping and everything, it costs me, right now it costs $46 every 3 months, which I think you pay a few dollars less than what the retail value is, but that also includes, I mean, that's shipping and handling and all that. So right now, I think it's a decent deal, and I like getting the surprise each time. Excuse me. And so I figure as long as I feel like it's quality stuff and I'm enjoying it, it's worth it to me, and I'll continue. And like I said, I can stop anytime I want. So if you're hesitant about joining any of their clubs, usually there's like a 99-cent fee to join the club or something like that. It's not very expensive, but always know that you can stop those clubs anytime you want to. You're not obligated to keep being in there. If you grow dissatisfied, or it's like, okay, I'm in this floss club and I've got tons of floss now, I don't need any more, you can stop at any time. All right, so now we are down to my crazy craft tip. And I've actually given this tip before, but I'm going to do it again because I feel like, especially this time of year, it's just needed. And that is for, this being a craft, not just as a fun hobby, which it is a lot of fun, but it's for stress relief too. And I know sometimes it can really save people. And that sounds melodramatic, but honestly, it can keep people sane. The cross stitch kept me sane during the pandemic. And I'm in this Facebook group called embroidery.com. And many of the people on there were talking about how it was keeping them sane during that time. I also can't tell you how many times, and unfortunately, it's more often than I like because it's sad, but people talk about when one of their parents passes away, or their child's been involved in some serious wreck, or someone's got cancer, all of these things that are very sad. And it's like you feel helpless. You feel like you can't do a whole lot. And we definitely can, send good thoughts and pray and all of that. And that's awesome. And it can be very powerful. But to do something tangible, I feel like, and this is just my personal belief, and I don't like to push my politics or my personal beliefs, my religious beliefs on other people. I don't think that's right. But I certainly don't mind sharing what I believe, and then you can take it for what it's worth. But I feel like God gave me this hobby and has allowed me to enjoy it as a blessing from Him. And that's just my own personal belief. But I feel like, especially in the last few weeks when I was sick, and then when Dad had to go into the hospital, and we were very unsure about many things for a while. And so it just, I didn't feel like stitching for a little while. And that's okay. If you lose your stitchy bug or you just really don't feel like it, that's okay. I would pick it up and tell myself, just do a few stitches. And I'd want to stitch, and then I would stitch for a little bit, and then I would want to put it down. I'm like, I just wasn't interested anymore. And so I told myself, don't work on the full coverage, because that takes some concentration. When you've got so many different colors going on, it takes concentration. And those of you who have done full coverage, you know what I'm talking about. So I said, just work on your smaller projects. And I actually ended up getting 2 of my whips done because I worked on those, especially the Barn Sweet Barn Star. There's a lot of repetition in that pattern, and so it was very soothing to me. And the last couple of days where we've taken a break and haven't gone to the hospital, I made some phone calls to see what was going on and what progress we were making. But I've been stitching a lot today. I stitched a lot yesterday. I mean, hours. And I hope that I can do more of that when I retire. But I really needed these couple of days just to stitch and stitch and stitch, and watch some Christmas movies. Excuse me. And it has helped to keep me calm and brought some peace and some healing to me. And so I just want you to keep that in mind, that if sometimes we just don't know what to do. We're at a loss, and we feel helpless, and we don't know what to do. So if you just feel restless, or you're not sure what to do, and you know that there's really not a lot you can do, and you're worried, then just pick up your stitching. Pick up a project that you love. And even if it's just a few stitches and you're like, I just can't do this, you just can't focus, that's okay. You may get to a point in the process where you're like, I need to stitch for a few hours, and you do. So I want you to know that, especially those of you who haven't been stitching for very long, or you've just picked it up again, that cross stitch can be such a wonderful stress reliever. I've even tried to use it, like I have emotional eating issues. And so, instead of going to the refrigerator, get myself a fresh bottle of water, fill up my water bottle, and just sit and stitch for a while. Stitching is therapy, and we get addicted to it, but I can think of much, much worse things to be addicted to than cross stitch, right? So that's my craft tip, is just, and I've said this before, but just going back to the whole idea of stress relief, and that it's wonderful for that. Or if you're doing full finishes, or any kind of craft work that you like to do, whether it's knitting or decoupage or whatever it happens to be, it can be a wonderful source of stress relief. And so I just wanted to do that today, partly because of my current situation, and partly because it's just a good reminder that it's okay to use it for that, and that it can, cross stitch serves a lot of purposes. It's not just a fun hobby, but it serves a lot of purposes. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed today's episode. I hope that I have given you some joy. I didn't want to be like a downer with my life update, but on the positive side, it feels like we're going to come out on the other end of this, and You know, I've learned some things from this. I've learned some more medical terminology. So, you know, just trying to look at the cup as half empty, or half empty, half full rather than half empty. And that's, you know, that's the bottom line out of all of this. So if you have enjoyed your visit to the craft room today and enjoyed seeing my stuff and maybe it's inspired you in some way, please click the like button. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to join our community. It has been an awesome journey and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And so hopefully it won't be as long between this one and the next one. I do plan on my next episode being a tutorial where we talk about how do you do a full coverage piece. So I thought I would tackle that before I get to specialty stitches again, because people are intimidated by full coverage. And I thought, maybe I need to do a little tutorial on how do you get started on a full coverage piece. And maybe you want to try one. Okay, so I guess that is it. That's what I've got. So I hope that you have an awesome, wonderful, safe new year. I will be back with you again in 2024. Can't believe I'm saying that. But be creative, be blessed, and I will see you later.